Before there was the brilliant songwriting and heaviness of Sons of Northern Darkness, and before there was the coldness of At the Heart of Winter, this was their Diabolical album, Diabolical Fullmoon Mysticism. It's Immortal at their grittiest and probably their grimmest. Later albums would sound more powerful, as this album doesn't have the production values as All Shall Fall. Most of the songs are mid-tempo, so it's relatively slower than the rest of their work. However, the primary selling point is how evil it sounds. The intro, cleverly titled Intro, is a very calming acoustic guitar section. But it sounds like a demon is growling behind them. Then, Call of the Winter Moon kicks in. Their drummer is interesting. He's always changing beats and doing fills. So far it sounds really haunting, but it also sounds heavy. You can hear every instrument clearly, and this was before Transylvanian Hunger came out and everybody intentionally went to 4-track studios to record their black metal albums. Black metal generally is more of a riff-focused genre, and this is another big contender for that argument. The guitar tone is sharp and full of impact, but it's also warm, coherent, and fuzzy. For the kind of songs that were on this album, the production fits nicely. The song Unholy Forces of Evil. About a minute and 10 seconds in, you have an interesting drum section. It's like the songs shapeshift to be more technical. And the songs are not chapters of a journey, they're journeys themselves. There are all kinds of rhythms, changes, and moods going on in each song. And this is just their first album. But this is also an album that you listen to for the riffs. Even if the songs aren't the most amazing things you've ever heard, the riffs are powerful enough to keep your attention. Cryptic Winter Storms. You have the evil and heavy second wave black metal sound going on. Typical mid-tempo song. But there are also acoustic guitars going on in this song. Makes it sound very rich. The atmosphere is something else to be noted. The best time to listen to this album is during a snowstorm that goes on for several days, and then you walk outside with your sword and shield and venture somewhere far away. In my case, it might be the nearest pizza place because I'm probably going to be hungry. Blacker than darkness, none more dark. Immortal said that Morbid Angel was a big lyrical influence on them, but it's obvious that they were also a big musical influence on them as well, because this song sounds like a circus, kind of like what you would hear off of Bless Are the Sick. And then the best song on the album is the last song, a perfect vision of the Rising Northland. I love this song. Even if I don't feel like listening to the entire album, I will just go to this song and I'll get my Immortal fill quick. It starts off with a creepy acoustic slow guitar intro, and then your typical mid-tempo black metal that you expect at this point in the album kicks in. It almost sounds like Bathory because of the vocals, because they're high-pitched growls, and sometimes during the song you have the quieter, cleaner vocals that are in the background sometimes, and that makes it a little more creepy. To counter the evil, an acoustic guitar solo happens about 6 minutes in. It's all quiet and calming and soothing, but then Abath screams, and then the evil kicks in and explodes! Just the way the synth sounds and comes in really strong, it's so evil. And then the way the lead guitar follows in with the tremolo picking just makes it more march-like and more diabolical sounding. And then the song ends how it starts, with a slow acoustic guitar intro. Great music, but even the artwork's gold. You have fire spitting and ancient ruins. It's my favorite Immortal artwork. This image comes into play when listening to the album. Take Unholy Forces of Evil. Perhaps the shadowy figures in the artwork are casting a spell, and maybe it's the soundtrack. This album is a blueprint for what the band would later become. Albums like Pure Holocaust would cement them further into darker black metal. Some people don't like the underproduced quality of this album, but I find that it adds to the rawness and the atmosphere. Diabolical Fullmoon Mysticism would be your basic Norwegian black metal with bits of originality and iconic songs. Later work would be more elaborate, but I'd say that Immortal started on a good path.